Hi, this is Pete's Perfect Food, back here with a cracky little video for you, and today I'm going to make my best protein bars that you'll ever have. And rather than spending $2.50 on a bar at Sainsbury's or wherever you go shop, this is going to save you a load of money, load of time. Let's get into it. Right, for this recipe what you'll need is maple syrup, golden syrup, protein powder, brown sugar, mixed seeds, porridge oats, pecans, hazelnuts, cherries, and a little bit of butter. Right, so first things first, what you need is a saucepan, and we're going to weigh up 150 grams of butter, and also 200 grams of the golden syrup, 200 grams of brown sugar, and we're going to melt it all together, ready to put in with the oats and all the other ingredients. Right, so in the pan I've got 150 grams of the butter. I'm just putting in the brown sugar. You can use granulated sugar or caster sugar if you like, but I prefer brown sugar because it gives you a nice caramel flavour. To that, I'm going to add 200 grams of golden syrup as well. Right, so the golden syrup's now in, and all I'm going to do now is just gently cook this down for maybe about 3-4 minutes, just till the butter melts in with everything and the sugar dissolves, and that's going to be the sticking point for the protein bars. At the same time, I'm going to just toast off my pecans and my hazelnuts. Now if you've got a pestle and mortar at this point, you could use that to break up the nuts, but I'm going to use a food processor today because that's what I've got. Right, so your pecans are in, they're on a medium heat, but you've got to keep your eye on them because they'll be all of a sudden, they can go and turn very bitter very quickly, so just keep an eye on that while you're doing everything else. Over here I've got 300 grams of oats, and to my oats I'm going to add both my protein powder and my creatine. My mixed seeds, you've got all sorts of pumpkin seeds, linseed seeds, sunflower seeds, all in there. There's 100 grams of that now in there. And then the last thing I've got to do is chop up my cherries. Right, so I've got 50 grams of cherries here. You can use tinned ones, that's absolutely fine. If they're in season, cherries are amazing, but it's not in season. Or you can even use tinned ones, they're just as good. And all I'm going to do in them is cut them into small bits to go in with the protein bars. And the thing is though, my protein powder is chocolate flavour, so cherry and chocolate works absolutely beautifully. Right, so as you can see the butter's just starting to melt, and so all I'm going to do now is get my spatula and gently move it around, and so I want all that sugar to be dissolved, and that's really important. Also my pecans are just starting to warm up now, so I've just got to keep my eye on those. So literally once they've got a nice little colour of brown on them, what we'll do is just chuck them into the food processor and pulse them up so they've got a little bit of texture, which is really, really nice in the protein bars. And then finally, all I've done over here is cut the cherries in half and literally cut them into strips. Again, they're going to go straight in with the oats, and that's fine now. Right, so what I've got here is a 24cm squared tin. I've just literally put a load of butter on it, ready to put some greaseproof paper on. Over here, the butter's nearly melting and I'm just getting the last bits of the sugar dissolved, so that'll be ready in the next minute or so. The pecans are just, like I say, still just gently toasting, so at the moment they've just had 2 minutes, so they're starting to smell really, really nice now. Give it another minute or two more and then they'll start getting a little bit of colour, and that's when the oils will come out and they'll make the bars taste even better. Right, so the pecans are done. If you can see that, there's a little bit of toastiness on it, so what I want to do now is pull them off straight into the food processor to stop the cooking. Also, I've taken off the golden syrup, the sugar and the butter just so it allows it to cool down for a couple of minutes, and then that's ready to put in with the oats. Right, so what I've done now is literally same pan, I've just started putting into the hazelnuts. Because the pan's warm, it shouldn't take very long for this one to get done. The other thing I've got to remember is all these papers, skins, need to come off, but I'll show you a really good way of getting them off. Literally you rub them in between your hands, but you leave them to cool for a couple of minutes and then rub it between your hands, or alternatively, if you want to, you can put it in a clean tea towel and rub it together. But I find the way between your fingers is just as effective, and it saves you a load of washing. Right, so the hazelnuts have had about 2 minutes and they're already starting to smell amazing. As you can see, the skins are starting to peel off, which is exactly what I want. But I'm going to leave them another minute or so just to get a little bit more colour on the nuts, and then they're going to come off as well, and that'll be sorted. Right, so now I've had another minute or so, and what I've got is really nice toasty smelling hazelnuts, yeah, they're looking pretty good for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour them straight into a bowl, straight over here. Leave them for about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. And once they cool a little bit, I'm going to rub them between my hands, and then what you'll see is all the papers will pretty much come off on their own. Now if you do have a few skins on it, don't worry, don't panic, that's absolutely fine. Right, so in the bowl with the oats, the protein powder, the creatine and the mixed seeds, I've just put in the cherries. I'm also going to pour in now the butter, the sugar and the golden syrup. The other thing I will do at this point, I will add a couple of tablespoons of the maple syrup as well, just for flavour more than anything. And what I will do as well at the end, before they go in the oven, I'm going to put a little drizzle of the maple syrup on top, just to give it a really nice flavour. Right, so all I'm going to do is literally rub them, eat like that, and literally they're coming off on my hands, and that's exactly what you want. Like I say, if you've got the odd bit, don't worry about it, it's not a big problem. And literally just push them off. Then, like I say, you can use a tea towel, but I don't really want to do any more washing up than normal, so literally I'm just going to rub them off and then I'm going to blitz them up. Right, I just want to show you quickly, that's what happens when you just rub it in your hands. All the papers come off, and in there are my toasted nuts, and then it's going to get pulsed up. Also, I've literally poured all the mixture, or the wet mixture into the dry mixture, so I'm going to mix that up and make sure it's all well coated, otherwise it's just, you get dry patches and that's pretty disgusting to be honest. But I need to add my nuts in now, I'm going to whiz them up and then I'm going to show you what to do for baking it. Right, so this is exactly what I want. I've got some big bits, I've got some small bits, some of it like powder, which is perfect. So what this does is gives you loads of different textures, especially the bars, and it's really great when you eat them. Right, so what I've done, I've mixed it all together and I'm literally going to pour probably a couple of tablespoons of maple syrup in there, mix it up, and what I've done is lined my tin with some butter and greaseproof paper. Like I say, 24 centimeters squared tin. It will do you about 8 to 10 bars. So that's a good week and a half, unless you're like me who eats about 3 a day, which doesn't last you very long, but they are exceedingly moreish. Right, so I've just poured all the mixture in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down with a masher. Seems to make the best way to make it all compact and get it all right into the corners. And once I've done this, a little drizzle of maple syrup over the top, and then literally in the oven at 160 for 25 minutes, and they'll come out beautiful. And then what you have to do is leave them set, and then you can eat them to your heart's content. Right, so everything's ready to go now. So this is what it looks like, and it's going to go in the oven now for 25 minutes. And then what I'll do is, once it comes out, you leave it to cool for a good couple of hours. If less, if it cools down quicker because it's a cold day, fine, no worries. And then what you want to do is, before it gets too cold, you want to cut it up into however many bars you want. I'll get this about 8 to 10 from here, give or take. If you can do it even smaller if you want, or you can go bigger, it's entirely up to you for that point. So I'm going to put this in the oven now. Right, so the bars have had 25 minutes in the oven now, and so I'm going to show you what it looks like. So hopefully, just a second, if you can see that, it's just slightly brown, it's just firm to the touch. That's exactly what I want. I don't want it any more than that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it to cool down for maybe about an hour or so. And then what I can do, just before it gets too cold, I'll cut it up into bars, put it into a nice container, and then leave it in the cupboard, ready for whenever I need it. So, if you like this, smash the subscribe button and the notifications bell. Come join the food family. And as always, you legends, I love you. Stay safe at the moment. Peace out.